Good morning, everyone. Well, it's Friday and we've come to the end of yet another week, a week at which we've been looking at poor decisions that have made by different people as recorded in our Bible. We looked at John Mark, who bailed out of the first missionary journey, first missionary trip. We've looked at Peter, who denied Jesus. We looked at the Jesus teaching in the terms of the story of the prodigal son, prodigal daughter. And then we looked at Jonah. All people who made poor decisions. And as we end off this morning, I'm going to look at what happened, Jesus' interaction recorded in Matthew 19 and Luke 18, of Jesus' interaction with an unnamed young man. He's described as being a rich young man. He had much wealth, says the scriptures. And he obviously had a deep spiritual concern, and he came to Jesus looking for something that would meet his deep spiritual need. And he asks that question: what must I do to inherit eternal life, to have eternal life? And Jesus surprisingly turns around and says to him, well, what you've got to do is just obey the commandments that deal with your relationships with other people. Do not murder, do not lie, do not steal, do not bear false witness, honor your father and your mother, and love others as you love yourself. And this young man is obviously a very moral young man, wealthy young man, and he says, I've done all of this, and yet there's still this hunger inside. And he asks the question, what do I lack? I'm trying hard, but there's something missing. And you can sense something of the urgency, that not desperation, but he's serious about this. What do I lack? He says, I've tried so hard. And then Jesus puts his finger on something that means a huge amount to this young man, and that is his wealth. And he says to him, go and sell all that you have and give to the poor, and then come follow me. And we read that this saddened the young man, made him sad, because obviously his wealth meant a huge amount to him. And while it's easy to criticize the story or to end up debating about, is it legitimate that you have to sell everything that you have? No, that's not the point here. Jesus is saying there are things that you cling to. You're asking about a spiritual decision, and yet there are things in this life, material things that you cling to, that you're unwilling to give up in order to follow me. And this morning, each of us is faced with having to think about, what is it that we cling to that is more important than choosing to follow Jesus? This young man made a poor decision. Despite the ache in his heart and his spirit, he chose to walk away, and he was deeply saddened. That was a poor decision. What about you? Is there something in your life that you have put before Jesus? Now, quite honestly, for the young man, Jesus says, come follow me. That was easy. He had to give up everything and then become one of his disciples and tour around the country with Jesus, wherever Jesus was. These days, what does it mean to follow Jesus? Well, at least it means to be sure that we know what Jesus taught and what he was like. And that means a returning to reread the Gospels again, and then to ask ourselves, is there something that has become more important to me than Jesus? Are you willing to do that? And not only to acknowledge something that is more important than Jesus, but to then say, Lord, I want to get the order of things right again. I want to put you first, whatever it takes. What's the decision that you're going to make? This morning, as you take time out, won't you look into your heart and ask yourself, is there anything that is more important to me than Jesus. And then maybe this is an opportunity to commit, perhaps for the first time for some of you. You might be saying, hey, I've been good all my life. I've done all the religious things all my life. And Jesus is saying, no, I want you to follow me. I want you to be like me. For others of you, maybe this is an opportunity to recommit, to use this chance to think about your life and say, have I allowed other things to creep in so that my first priority is no longer Jesus? And then I pray, not make a poor decision, but to make a good decision to follow him. I trust that you will, in that process, find huge blessing from the Lord. See you in 10 days' time.